Type 3 hypersensitivity reactions are a type of undesired immune response, mediated by immune complexes. In this video, I'll share my visual way to help you remember all the facts about Type 3 hypersensitivity. We're getting a big tech upgrade for this orchard, and I'm in the process of installing sensors on these trees. These sensors are used to electronically monitor tree growth, fruit production, and other metrics we care about. Well, these tree sensors also help me remember Type 3 hypersensitivity. Get it? Sensor for hypersensitivity, and tree for the number 3. Type 3 hypersensitivity is a type of undesired immune response in which the immune system causes unnecessary damage. Let's explore why this happens. See those clumps of lichen growing on the tree trunk? These lichen spores just kind of fly around until they deposit on trees and grow. By the way, these lichen clumps remind me of immune complexes, since immune complexes are essentially clumps of antibodies bound to antigens circulating in the bloodstream. The types of antibodies that circulate are most commonly IgG or IgM, so it is these types of antibodies that bind to circulating antigens to form circulating immune complexes. Type 3 hypersensitivity is mediated by these immune complexes, which can get stuck or deposit along the walls of the bloodstream. As you know, other parts of the immune system activate when they see antibodies bound to an antigen. In other words, they will activate when they see an immune complex. This causes inflammation and local damage, which is how damage happens in Type 3 hypersensitivity. So where does all this information collected by these sensors go? To that computer, of course. Coincidentally, this computer is our recurring symbol for the complement system, which should help you remember that after immune complexes are made, the next step is activation of complement. Get it? A computer for complement? Check out our dedicated videos on complement to learn more about complement activation. Antibodies like IgG or IgM bound to antigens are able to fix or bind the complement protein C1, which initiates complement activation by the classical pathway. And guess what immune complexes are? IgG or IgM bound to antigen. Therefore, these immune complexes are natural sources of complement activation. One way exam writers will get you here is to say that the serum C3 levels are decreased in Type 3 hypersensitivity. This decreased C3 happens whenever complement activates, since C3 is used up during complement activation. Immune complexes activate complement, so they use up C3 in the process. Make sense? Let's move on. So what happens after the complement system gets activated? Well, take a look at what's happened after our gardener activated this computer. Yep, it looks like the computer is telling us to install a net around the tree. Maybe the net will prevent animals from damaging the plant or something. In any case, this net should remind you of neutrophils, since a net is our recurring symbol for neutrophils. Get it? A net for neutrophil? It's the neutrophil net, or the netrophil. You may recall that activation of complement releases a protein fragment called C5a, which is a potent chemoattractant or recruiter of other immune cells. C5a basically brings neutrophils to the site, and when these neutrophils arrive, they can induce inflammation by releasing their granules. We cover the molecules inside these granules in a dedicated video, but I'm talking about stuff like lysozyme, elastase, and reactive oxygen species. So when these neutrophils arrive, they release all this inflammatory stuff, resulting in tissue damage and inflammation. Depending on where the immune complexes deposit in the bloodstream, this damage may be localized within a specific organ or systemic, resulting in vasculitis. We will cover the two archetypal examples of Type 3 hypersensitivity, serum sickness and Arthus reactions, in dedicated videos. However, generally speaking, Type 3 hypersensitivity is seen whenever depositing immune complexes causes autoimmune damage. This includes lupus, in which vasculitis and lupus nephritis are caused by depositing immune complexes. Vasculitides like polyarteritis nodosa and Hennig-Schönlein purpura, as well as post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis, are all Type 3 hypersensitivity. In all of these cases, a circulating antigen in the bloodstream is targeted by antibodies, forming immune complexes. That's it for type 3 hypersensitivity. Let's recap quickly and get out of here. Type 3 hypersensitivity reactions are undesired immune responses caused by the development of circulating immune complexes. These complexes are formed when our body makes antibodies against circulating antigens. Once these immune complexes are produced, they can deposit along the walls of the bloodstream, whereupon they activate the complement system and recruit neutrophils to cause damage. High-yield examples of type 3 hypersensitivity to know include serum sickness, the Arthus reaction, Hinoch-Schönlein purpura, polyarteritis nodosa, post-streptococcal glomerulonephritis, and the manifestations of lupus nephritis and vasculitis in lupus. And we're done with type 3 hypersensitivity. I'll see you in the next one.